Rain hammered against the windows of Precinct 14, like impatient fingers. Inside the nearly empty homicide division, Detective Adrian Cole sat alone beneath the cold white glow of a flickering desk lamp. Half-empty coffee cups surrounded him like forgotten evidence. The digital clock on the wall read 2:14 a.m. Most of the city slept. Adrian never did. Stacks of unsolved case files covered his desk, but one box sat separated from the others. Dusty, unopened, stamped in faded red ink. Evidence tape 43. Adrian stared at it for several seconds before finally pulling the cassette recorder closer. The box had arrived anonymously that morning with no return address. Inside was only one note. 3 handwritten words. You were there. He slid the cassette into the recorder. The tape hissed to life. Static crackled through the office. Then a terrified woman whispered, "He's inside the room." Adrian leaned forward. The woman continued breathing heavily into the microphone. Glass shattered somewhere in the background. Then, a young boy's voice suddenly spoke on the tape. Calm. Terrifyingly calm. Don't turn around. Adrian froze. The blood drained from his face. Because the voice on the tape was his own. Emily Vance was 26 years old when police found her body inside room 217 of the Rosewood Motel in October 1998. The crime scene haunted detectives for decades. No forced entry. No fingerprints. No witnesses. Only 3 strange details remained burned into police memory. Asterisk the missing cassette recorder, asterisk the motel bathroom, filled with black water, asterisk, and a symbol drawn on the mirror in red lipstick. A circle with a vertical line through its center. Nobody knew what it meant. The media called it #the Rosewood Murder. For 28 years, the case remained unsolved. Adrian remembered seeing the victim's photo as a child while his father worked the investigation. Back then, his father had been one of the city's best homicide detectives. 6 months later, his father disappeared. No explanation, no body, nothing. And after that night, Adrian's mother never mentioned the case again. Ever. Adrian replayed the tape. Again. And again. Each time, the same impossible thing happened. His own childhood voice echoed through the recorder. Older evidence tapes often degraded over time. Audio distortions happened. But this wasn't distortion. It was him. Every word matched the cadence he still had today. Adrian immediately sent the cassette to forensic audio analysis. 3 hours later, technician Marcus Hill called him personally. His voice sounded nervous. "Adrian, I checked everything twice." And silence. Then, "The tape's original." Adrian's jaw tightened. No edits. None. Voice synthesis. Impossible for 1998. Marcus lowered his voice. That recording was made the same night Emily Vance died. Adrian stared through the rain-covered office windows. Somewhere deep inside him, something old had started waking up. The Rosewood Motel still existed. Barely. Its neon sign flickered weakly beside the highway, like a dying heartbeat. The manager looked nervous the moment Adrian showed his badge, especially after hearing the room number. "People still ask about that room sometimes," the old man muttered. "Tourists. Weirdos. Anyone recently?" The manager hesitated, then nodded. "A man came last week. Tall. Gray coat. Asked if the boy ever came back." Adrian felt cold. "What boy?" The manager stared at him strangely. "You." The hallway leading to room 217 smelled like mold and wet carpet. Adrian unlocked the door slowly. The room had been abandoned for years. Dust coated every surface. The bathtub still remained. So did the mirror. And faintly, barely visible beneath layers of old cleaning chemicals, the symbol still lingered on the glass. Circle. Vertical line. Adrian suddenly felt dizzy. A sharp pain exploded behind his eyes. And for one brief second, he remembered standing inside this exact room as a child. Someone holding his shoulder. A woman crying. And his father whispering, "Don't forget what she says." The memory vanished instantly. Back at the precinct, Adrian searched through archived police evidence connected to his father. Most files had been erased or transferred, except one, an unlabeled storage box buried in retired homicide records. Inside, asterisk photographs, asterisk motel receipts, asterisk interrogation transcripts, asterisk, and one microcassette tape. Adrian inserted it into the recorder. Static filled the office. Then his father's voice emerged. Older. Tired. Case notes. October 14th, 1998. Papers shuffled. Then, Emily Vance claims the suspect isn't acting alone. A woman cried softly in the background. Emily. His father continued. She says the man records people before killing them. Another pause. Then Emily whispered, he makes children listen. Adrian's stomach twisted. Suddenly another voice entered the recording. A child. His voice. Why is she crying? Adrian nearly dropped the recorder. His breathing became uneven. He had no memory of this. None. Adrian drove to his childhood home before sunrise. His mother opened the door slowly. The moment she saw the evidence box in his hands, her face lost all color. You found it. Adrian stared at her. Why was I at that crime scene? She immediately began crying. For several seconds she couldn't speak. Finally, your father thought children noticed things adults missed. Witnesses trusted you. Victims trusted you. Adrian felt sick. He took me into investigations. She nodded weakly. Only twice. The Rosewood case was the last one. Adrian's voice shook. What happened there? His mother looked terrified. Not sad. Terrified. Your father came home different. He stopped sleeping. Started recording everything. Then one night he told me. She swallowed hard. The boy heard something he shouldn't have. Adrian felt ice spread through his chest. What did I hear? His mother whispered, I don't know. But after that night, you stopped speaking for almost 3 months. Inside his father's old storage locker, Adrian found dozens of cassette recordings. Most were damaged, except one, labeled carefully in black marker. ## final interview, EV. His hands trembled as he pressed play. Emily Vance sounded exhausted, terrified. Rain hammered against motel windows in the recording. Then Emily whispered, he records fear. His father asked, who does? Emily's breathing became shaky. The man in the hallway. A loud bang interrupted the tape. Then footsteps. Slow. Heavy. Adrian's younger voice suddenly spoke nearby. Dad. His father answered softly. Stay outside the room. But the tape continued. Emily began crying harder. Then she whispered something that made Adrian stop breathing entirely. Your son already saw him. Silence. Then Emily continued. That's why he won't remember later. A door creaked open. Footsteps approached the recorder. Then an unfamiliar male voice spoke for the very first time. Calm. Emotionless. Children forget easier. The tape cut to static. Adrian spent the next 12 hours searching archived crime scene photos. Hundreds of images. Bloodstains. Bathroom tiles. Broken lamps. Then finally, one photograph made his heart stop. Room 217. Taken minutes after Emily's death. Police officers filled the scene. His father stood near the bathroom doorway, and partially hidden behind him was an 8-year-old boy staring directly into the camera. Adrian. He zoomed closer. The child looked terrified. But that wasn't the worst part. In the bathroom mirror behind him, another figure stood reflected. Tall. Blurry. Watching the child, even though nobody else appeared in the room. At 3:11 a.m., Adrian sat alone in his office listening to the tapes one final time. Rain continued falling outside. The city remained asleep. He finally understood why his father disappeared. The case had never ended. Someone had mailed him evidence tape 43 intentionally. Someone knew he remembered pieces now, and someone wanted him to continue listening. Adrian rewound the original cassette one final time, but this time, he let the tape continue past the static ending. A hidden final segment suddenly played. Emily's weak voice whispered, "If you're hearing this, he's still alive." Then the unknown man spoke again, closer this time, almost directly into the microphone. "The boy will come back eventually." Several seconds passed. Then the child version of Adrian asked quietly, "Will I remember you?" The man answered, "Not until it's too late." The tape ended. Permanent silence filled the office. Adrian slowly looked toward the dark hallway outside his desk, and for one brief moment, he thought he saw a tall figure standing motionless at the far end of the corridor, watching him. The lights flickered, and the figure disappeared. Some murder cases remain unsolved because detectives miss evidence. Others remain unsolved because the truth is too dangerous to remember. But the most terrifying cases are the ones that never truly end, because somewhere tonight, inside an old evidence locker, another tape might already be waiting. And maybe it has your voice on it too.